She was nonverbal. She couldn't ask for help. She had no way of raising her hand and saying, I need help, I'm being mistreated, I'm hungry, I have ants on me.
A family is calling for changes after learning their mother, suffering from Alzheimer's, was found with ant bites on her arms and legs in her Austin nursing home. They filed a lawsuit against the facility, but they're worried the case points to a bigger statewide problem: staffing shortages in nursing homes. That investigator, Avery Travis, has been following. We want to warn you, we're going to show you some graphic photos of the woman's wounds to fully convey her experience, but some viewers might find them disturbing.
She had this wit that I think about all the time because she was just so funny and would always make us laugh.
That's how Kathleen Laurel's two daughters remember her. But mixed in with the happy memories,
Every once in a while, I still want to pick up the phone and try to call her or text her. And I can't because she's gone.
the sisters learned ants were found in their mom's bed at her Southwest Austin nursing home, Brush Country Nursing and Rehabilitation, and on her body.
It's completely unforgivable, and it's something out of a horror story.
If you see the pictures.
Pictures showing Kathleen's arms and legs covered in red welts and hives, requiring medical treatment. That's the description used by a state health and human services surveyor who was already on site at Brush Country that same night for unrelated reasons. KXAN reached out to HHSC, who verified the document. It was obtained from the state by the family's attorney and then provided to KXAN. It noted Kathleen's jaw was clenched and her legs were shaking as if she was in pain.
It was very difficult.
Kathleen's husband, Joe, says her condition got worse after that night.
A very difficult moment in my life. And I still live it. That's it.
Just over 2 weeks later, she died. However, her death certificate does not mention the ant bites. The state surveyor's report did detail those bites, along with falls and missed meals and medications for other residents. 4 employees quoted blamed issues on staffing shortages. One worker said it was impossible to check on residents every 2 hours. Another said some employees had left the job after being overworked. A third called the lack of care residents were receiving due to being short-staffed heartbreaking. The state surveyor noted at least 4 different deficiencies, but the report also notes the facility cleared up all of those deficiencies just a few days later, after bringing in pest control and beginning skin assessments for the residents. The facility administrator said in the report they did have enough staff.
Do you feel like these homes are receiving enough funding to properly staff?
No, I don't.
Kevin Warren is the president of the Texas Healthcare Association, which represents skilled nursing facilities.
What is the incentive?
He testified before state lawmakers just last month about how difficult it can be to hire and keep staff in long-term care.
This is not a new issue. This is not a, oh, by the way, look what COVID caused. We were tens of thousands of staff behind before COVID even hit.
He's hoping the state will boost high school or early college training programs, or set up loan forgiveness for nurses and nurse aides who go to work in nursing homes. But Kathleen's family says they'd like to see minimum staffing requirements in nursing facilities, and more consequences when those standards are not met.
To make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else.
Avery Travis for State of Texas.
Laurel's family is suing Brush Country Nursing and Rehabilitation in civil court. Attorneys for the facility say they cannot comment on any pending litigation, but they did file a response in court denying every claim laid out by the family, and they argue that there are inadequate factual pleadings to make a claim of gross negligence. In addition to the nursing home's lawyers, we reached out to its administrator for further comment, and we will update this story in the politics section of this website if we hear back. There you can also see our nursing home investigations, including more on the ongoing workforce challenges many of them are facing. Wildfires and record-breaking heat. This week, firefighters across the state responded to at least 20 wildfires at any given time. The largest of them, the Chalk Mountain Fire in Somerville, has burned more than 6,000 acres so far. This heat, combined with dry conditions, have made way for more brush fires to pop up throughout Texas. As Monica Madden explains, this recipe for disaster is taking a lot out of those affected and those fighting them.
I was in shock.
While on her way to visit her
96-year-old grandpa, Daddy Jack, Haley Fedora saw this.
Closer and closer to this giant cloud of smoke.
A wildfire burning just 3 miles from Daddy Jack's nursing home in a North Texas town of Graham, about 100 miles west of Fort Worth.
For us to have to tell him, there's a fire, we have to get you out. And he is fragile emotionally right now.
An ambulance, the only way to get him out safely.
It was very traumatizing for him. Fire department just knocked on a door and told us we have 30 minutes to evacuate.
Families also evacuating their homes just south in Somerville.
We're one of the last ones out, and we literally drove through the flames on both sides of the road,
where the chalk fire continues to scorch more than 6,000 acres. The hot and dry conditions making way for more brush fires popping up in several parts of the state.
When the wind picks up for those fuels to burn quickly and easily, that's why it's important if there are evacuations in your area to heed them.
Luckily for Fedora's family, they had enough time to save sentimental items like photos of him and his late wife and her treasured paintings.
All her art is on the wall, her beautiful paintings.
Beautiful paintings and a beautiful reminder of what really matters.
We realized most material stuff is just really not important. Our most important asset, our grandfather, he's out. He's good. He's safe.
Monica Madden for State of Texas.
This week, President Joe Biden took new action on climate change with a series of executive actions. The president is now directing FEMA to spend $2.3 billion to help communities build up resilience to extreme weather, widening assistance to low-income Americans for air conditioning and cooling centers, and proposing new wind energy areas in the Gulf of Mexico. He did, however, stop short of declaring a climate emergency, which would unleash federal resources.
Many of our childcare staff who are earning wages of $11 an hour or $22,000 a year, they can't afford to live within the city of Austin.
The increasing struggle parents face finding childcare, why they need to prepare to wait 12 or even 14 months before spots open up on the wait list.